Michael, we're in day 2 of IMEX.
We are, yes.
How many meetings have we done so far?
Probably about 55 meetings, somewhere in that range.
And how many folks did we have last night at our dinner?
Over 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away our secrets, but how did we draw so many meetings here?
Omnichannel approach.
What does that mean?
You got to do the work and hit people where they are. So luckily, IMEX has a portal similar to our hosted buyer capabilities.
Right.
Not quite as sophisticated, but it does the job. And getting into the portal, doing your research, understanding your ICP is super important.
Talk to me a little bit about what sort of outreach you and the team did to actually get these meetings booked.
Yeah, I think the first thing is having an offer, right?
Yeah.
You can't just come in and say, could you meet with me because I want to sell to you. So we did a happy hour, as you mentioned, last night, which was kind of went viral, right? So we reached out to potential customers in our ICP, very targeted list, based on email and through the portal and LinkedIn. So really looking at all the channels, and the response was great. We had, probably about 1,500 people that we engaged with and talked to. We had,
just to confirm that, 1,500 people.
1,500 people, right? From a brand building standpoint, obviously massive, but from a direct attribution standpoint, getting people in the pipeline, just fantastic, right? Over 200 people that responded favorably. People that didn't come to the event still wrote really nice emails. We got some follow-ups. We had people that couldn't come that came to the booth today. So it's, again, omni-channel. Everything supports everything else, and you work towards the goal. One
of the things I love that you had me do was going through the people that had signed up for the dinner that didn't book a meeting with us, and then actually having me reach out to them individually on LinkedIn to make sure that we were scheduling time with them, because when you have 90 people at the dinner, it's impossible for us to talk to everybody.
100%, yeah.
One of the things I noticed at the dinner last night is that the conversations actually stayed around events.
They did, yeah.
What do you think we did with the audience development there to make sure that happened?
That's a good question. I think the first thing is the ICP definition, right? So we were really selective about who we reached out to, kept the seniority level pretty high, and obviously for us, agencies matter, corporate event planners matter, DMCs matter, right, in this market for sure. So we had a really, really good group of people that were, not just peripheral to the event space, but actually in the job, doing the work.
Right.
And there's not a lot of opportunity, for us as a community to connect in that type of way, right? We're at shows like this, which are just, meeting after meeting for people on the buy side, or they're at their own events, right? So the ability to unplug, get in front of colleagues, commiserate, share successes.
Right.
It's not that often that they have the opportunity to do that.
Now run me through some of the numbers, because I know we had more people apply than we even accepted.
Correct,
I also know that our attrition rate was, I would say, high.
High, yeah, but expected. I mean, I could talk about our thinking and what
run me through it, but share the actual numbers.
Yeah, sure. So we had, I think it was 224 people that registered and applied to go.
Okay.
Yeah, we declined probably only about 30 people from the list.
And why were those people declined?
A couple of people that were competitors applied to go. That was a good reason. Or they were just really too peripheral.
Yeah.
Or in a couple of cases, just really, really junior. But we reached out and made sure the relationship was solid. Got a chance to see some of them at the booth, right? So it was, it's important to manage expectations on the front end, but then also treat people right, if you're going to tell them that they can't come to the party. So yeah, all told then, you figure about, say 190 people, right, in that range. And we had 90 people show up, right? So a little bit less than 50% show up rate, but we kind of expected that, right? In a field marketing event, at that size, you're going to see attrition. But we knew there were a few things that were going to keep the numbers a little bit low. One, it was kind of off campus, right? On purpose. We picked a really cool spot in Frankfurt, surrounded by, the Versace store and Audemars Piguet, and just, wonderful environment at a great venue, rooftop bar at a fantastic hotel, but you had to get there, right? So we knew that, there would be some attrition where we've all been there, right? You hit the end of day 1 at IMEX, and you're standing on the line for an Uber. Do I go to the happy hour or do I go home to the hotel room? And we know that we're going to lose people.
Yeah, especially when there's, a lot of people flying in from different places, jet lags at play.
Correct, yeah.
But we had accounted for that.
We accounted for that, yeah. So we actually set our internal minimum at 50, but we had probably 2x the number of applications that we had originally set as our target, which was great. And then we basically 2x'd our attendance, right? So the conversions that we expected played out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of follow-up post-event, what's the game plan with the team?
Yeah, individual follow-up, right? So we obviously ate our own dog food on this, so we checked in, printed badges, which was a fantastic touch. So we know the people.
Right, we know everybody who's actually there.
We know everybody that was there, we know all the attendees, right? Obviously we have their details, and the team is splitting them up, right? The nice thing about the way that we approach this is we also split up the outreach, right? So, Alex had his batch, I had my batch, Andrew had his batch, so we're able to carve those back up, and the continuity of conversation is going to be key, right? So the same person that invited them, who greeted them at the door, will send the follow-up email. We'll have a company follow-up email and thank you going out today, and then our follow-ups individual will be Monday.
I was chatting with Nicholas this morning, and he mentioned that so we went through and we messaged every attendee for the event last night on WhatsApp.
We did, I forgot that part,
And I think he said something around like 21 people that he had messaged that did not make it, actually responded and said why or apologized. And I mean, it's just great to see that it's respect within the industry.
100%. Not to give us credit for it, but the authenticity of the outreach.
Well, just keeping it human. It's one-to-one, right?
Kept it human.
It's not this, spray and pray approach.
A mass email. It was very authentic. Very personalized, really targeted. And then that again follows through, right? People appreciate that. And
as much as I want to sit here and say, oh well, we did all these things with AI, the reality is we didn't.
It was a lot of manual work, but understanding our ICP and being able to process that information, I think was important for us, right? And we obviously use some tech to help that, but the outreach itself, you have to. I mean, this is high stakes.
Well, and there's a lot of existing relationships, right? So it's you don't want to burn an existing relationship by sending them something that's completely generic.
Correct, right,
So actually going through the list, tying it out with our CRM, seeing who the contact owner is, who had the last touch point with them, it makes a world of difference. And we see it with the meetings that we're having in the booth, where it's folks that we met with at IMEX Vegas, or at past other shows that we've done, or dinners we've hosted.
Correct,
So it's that continued sales cycle of building those relationships and continuing to get in front of people, sharing the new things that we've been working on, hearing how their problem set has changed.
And they have. Like the problems have evolved.
Right.
Our solution has as well, obviously, but it's really interesting to hear. It's important to hear, and it's really satisfying, right? When last night we have brand new customers that just signed up, right? Some familiar faces, some new prospects, and just having that environment to talk candidly, about how we're approaching the problems together.
Well, and also to just kind of eavesdrop on the conversations we're having amongst each other. That's kind of
invaluable.
That's my favorite part, frankly.
Exactly.
In terms of what you're hearing, talking to other exhibitors here, talking to the hosted buyers that are coming and booking meetings with us, are there any trends that are sticking out with you?
So, it's not a new trend, but it's one that you're going to address tomorrow, is consolidation, platform consolidation.
Definitely.
And I think in this market, it's been historically really a point solution market, right? The end-to-end platform players in Europe were not as prevalent as we see in the States. So a lot of individual mobile app companies, an abstract management company here, right? Multiple reg providers, and I'm starting to see a lot of trend moving towards platforms. I think 50% of my conversations so far have been exactly that, right? And they're saying, the point solutions work for us, and the platforms were historically either too expensive, right, or didn't meet them where they were from a needs perspective, and that conversation's changed, right? So the ability for us to talk about our ability to scale up and down, the ability for them to learn the platform in a week,
and to be able to build on top of it, right?
That's the other piece,
Everybody's talking about vibe coding these days. Who knows where in that cycle we are right now, but what we're not seeing is people starting from scratch. It's building upon something, and the biggest challenge that they're facing in doing that is, where's that data going to reside?
100% correct,
And there's no reason that they should have to rebuild the back end. So it's really being able to extend that core platform, consolidate to one platform, and then be able to extend that platform to make it, fill that last 5-10% gap to make that experience exactly what you need for your attendees, for your speakers, for your exhibitors.
100% agree. And that is kind of a sea change as well, right? Talking about the extensibility of the platform. Nobody else is doing that, right? We talked about this, and not to be, to knock our competitors, but the AI that we're seeing is performative, right? It's a little chatbot, or it's a content generator. It's basically...
You know what though? I've gone around and talked to every other event platform here, and it feels like that is the belief now.
That's the answer.
I mean that people are actually, they're not necessarily calling it performative, but they're admitting that it's really throwing AI not at a problem, but they're just throwing this solution out there because they feel like they have to.
Because you can,
and it's often not getting adopted. Certainly like MCP servers are getting picked up, but some of these things like the chatbots, it's sort of a novelty more than it is actually solving a problem that exists.
Exactly, yeah. It's the tail wagging the dog.
Right.
We're going to throw a solution out there, like you said, and it's not solving anything.
Yeah.
It's just cool tech, right? It's an aftermarket, upgrade on a car that nobody ever needs. But talking about the extensibility of the platform, we've had some very sophisticated buyers come to the booth, right? People that really know their tech, and those are the questions. As soon as I say that, they're like, so I could vibe code on top.
Right.
The sea change, and I think we're kind of leading the charge on this. Historically, the idea was keep people in the platform, right? Don't let them go. Yes, integrations to keep it sticky, but you want them in the platform, right? Minutes on your eyeballs on the page, right? With what we're doing, we understand the reality, right? We understand that people are going to use Claude, right, and vibe code, and they're going to use solutions outside the platform. And if we can make it easier for them to do that, and like you said, there's no reason to not use the back end, right? It's secure. You're not going to do vibe coding for payments, right? So solid, great back end, out of the box solutions. But if you want to get crazy, you can do it. And we're going to allow you to do it.
And that's really what it comes down to, just giving that extensibility.
Yeah.
With it really comes down to like, there's not one spot that would just solve every customer's need. If there were, we would just build that.
No.
It's the fact that it is unique for every customer and what they need, and even within their event portfolio. So giving them the possibilities and the options to go and do that, and be able to drop those different pieces in, whether it's a new page they need to build out, that they're vibe coding to build out within our existing mobile app, or on their website, or another portal they need to create. The fact that all of the data is residing in one platform is what allows their attendees to pick up and start here and end somewhere else, where 100%. That experience is seamless, authentication is seamless across all of those elements.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's giving them the tool set,
right,
and the ability to solve the problem, as opposed to a prescriptive solution to a problem that maybe doesn't exist, right? Very, very different approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.